Welcome to another video. Today we got ourselves a new project. The TTR is now gone. I sold that and I picked up this morning. It is a 1982 Yamaha XJ650. Currently it does not run the way it's sitting. The owner said it's been sitting for 5+ years. I brought it home, I cleaned it up a little bit, I gave it a little wash, nothing crazy, just to get all the surface dust, dirt, whatever off of it. But yeah, this is as it sits. I don't really know anything about it. I'm guessing the carbs are gonna have to get done. I think the worst case scenario on this bike is that it might have like low compression or something like that. Because again, I didn't hear it start, run, nothing like that. So I don't know what's going on with it. I'll give you a nice little walk around it. Doesn't seem like it's in too rough a condition. Obviously it's pretty dirty, but carbs are gonna be fun. There's 4 of them. They all gotta get synced together. So that will be fun to deal with. The front brake, I was testing it out and it keeps getting stuck. So I'm gonna have to take that apart and figure out what's wrong with that. This thing is broken. Looks like it got laid down or something right there. Clutch seems to be working. I don't know if any of the controls work. It doesn't have a battery in it. So I'll test for spark, and then I'll probably take off the carbs after and try to clean those up. But I mean, overall, it's not too bad of a bike. It has 25,400 miles. It came with a clean title, which is the best part. But yeah, this is gonna be the next one. So stay tuned for this. Let's dig into it. All right, there's the seat. Looks like I got a toolkit. Nice, that's always a nice thing to find when you get the original Yamaha toolkit with it. All right, perfect, that's nice. All right, so right off the bat, I'm already noticing these fuses don't look too hot. These 2 center fuses are white and they do not look good. I do have a multimeter I could test those with. No. Okay, never mind. All right, well, those do seem to work, so. There's the air filter. Definitely pretty dirty. Not the worst, but not good either. I think the next thing I'm gonna do is just take out the spark plugs and put a little bit of oil down the cylinders just to make sure that they're good. Here's a look at the first one. This actually doesn't look too bad. All right, and here's a look at the other 2. This is the outside cylinder. This is the inside one. They also look pretty similar to the other ones. Nothing too bad, I would say. I will check for spark, but I'll put some oil down in the cylinder just to lube it up a little bit. There you go. All the cylinders seem to have good compression too. That might be our issue right there. I'm not seeing no spark at all. So I haven't actually dealt with a no spark issue before myself. So we will have to see where I have to start with that, because I am not too sure. I wonder if there's any like safety switches that would prevent it from not sparking. Pressing in the clutch, doing whatever, no spark at all. So now we gotta figure out what exactly could be causing this thing to not have any spark. But I guess the good news is that once we do figure out why it has no spark, I am almost certain that it should run. I think what I'm gonna do, just to free up some space, is get rid of the air box, probably even just take off the carbs, because I'll probably end up cleaning those either way. All right, that was a whole workout just to get that out. That was like actually crazy. That air box does not want to come out at all, but finally managed. So now I could start looking at all the connections, seeing what's wrong with it. All right, so I went through all of these connections. I took them all apart. I used a wire brush, cleaned them all out. There was a good amount of corrosion on them, so I just cleared them all out just to be safe. Take this off to see what's happening under here. What I'm gonna do is figure out what wires are part of the ignition, which is this one right here, and I'm just gonna test them and make sure that it's all working up here with the multimeter. It's on the on position right now. All right, so I'm turning it on and off, and that is working. All right, so I'm guessing the other one is gonna be for the start, which that also works. There's nothing faulty there. All right, right now I'm taking off the coils. So I'm already noticing one thing wrong, which is that they both have a crack in them. This one's a little worse, but they both have a crack going all the way through them. So that could be a reason that we have no spark. There's still a test I can do to them, just to like test them out, see what the ohms reading on them is, but I'm thinking that that's definitely gonna need new coil packs. All right, so right now I'm gonna test the resistance coil, 0.59. The black and the blue, also 0.59. So I think those are good. I don't think that's the issue. The other possibility is that the actual CDI ignition box is bad itself, which is possible. Ignition coil resistance test, 2.5 ohms. So between the two connections, it should be 2.5 ohms. 2.3, all right, so that's all right. Let's see this one. 2.3 as well. All right, and then the other test is checking both of these sides. Resistance of 11 kilo ohms. That's 11.22, so that seems fine. And this one too. 10.88. So these are both in spec, even though they have giant cracks in them, which is kind of weird. I thought they would be way out of spec with these cracks. That's a big crack. And same with this one. It goes up and around. So I mean, they're junk anyways. I'm probably gonna order new ones either way, even if they do work or not. I will put them back on the bike and check for spark one more time after cleaning all of the connections. All right, this is kind of a moment of truth. I'm gonna hook up the battery. About to find out if that made any difference at all. No spark. That didn't do anything. I feel like I traced all the wires. They all seem to be in good condition. Nothing is really damaged or broken that would cause it to not fire. I'm not sure, honestly. Kind of stumped here. I did purchase new coils, so we will try that and see if that makes a difference at all. Those should come in a few days. All right, it's a couple days later, a few parts came in. I got the new ignition coils. I got a battery for it, and then also I got a new CDI box. Let's see if these two parts solve our issue of no spark. So yeah, I'm gonna show you guys a test that you can do on your coils just to make sure that they're good. All right, so for this test, all you're gonna need is a battery, your coil, and then a few lines like alligator clips, whatever. So you're gonna do ground to ground, positive to positive. Actually, sorry, I think, never mind, I lied. So positive to positive, and then you're gonna ground the spark plug to ground. And then you'll take the ground here, and then all you're gonna do is just tap this ground on the battery, and then let me give you a better look. So all I'm gonna be doing is tapping the ground that's here to the coil and letting go. But look at the spark plug. It's very faint. I don't know if you guys can see that. It's a very faint spark, but it's there. So that's how you test if your coil is good using a battery. And then I'll do it with the bad one. I hope you guys can actually see that on camera. It would kind of suck if you can't. Anyway, so I'm gonna do positive to positive, spark plug to ground. The last ground is gonna be hitting the ground on the battery. I'm not seeing nothing at all. So yeah, I think that shows that these coils are definitely bad. So yeah, I'll install the new coils. I'll install the new CDI box, and let's see if that does it. All right, so these don't line up properly with the hole over here. Hope that's not gonna be an issue, but I'll just put the bolt through there. If anything, I'll like zip tie them up to make sure they stay in place. Now I'm just gonna install this, and then the next step will be the new battery. All right, new battery is in. That should be all the new parts. So now is the moment of truth. Do we have spark? So both of these go to different coils. So if they both got spark, we know that both of the coils are working. Oh, can you guys see that? We have spark. There we go. All right, all of them have spark, perfect. Just to check, I'm gonna just plug in the old one just to see if that was causing any of the issue at all. All right, got the old one plugged in. Let's see if it still sparks. No spark. So yeah, definitely needed new CDI and the new coils, so that's nice. Got that all figured out now. Now that we got that figured out, so I took apart the front brake assembly off camera because it was just giving me trouble. But pretty much I'm gonna just rebuild it. Not really, I'm gonna reuse all the same stuff, but I'm gonna put new fluid in it, clean it out as best I can. It was very dirty in there, so I'm gonna just clean that out. I'll probably need to get new brake pads because look at how they started to wear out. One side is like super thick and the other side is super thin, so I'll probably need to order some new brake pads. But I will rebuild this a little later. I think right now I want to tackle the carbs, get these sorted out, and then try to start it because it should be able to start now that I got spark. So yeah, this is gonna be our next step, digging into these carbs, seeing what's up with them. So yeah, let's get to it. All right, so got the carb here. Just looking at them, they seem to be in decent condition. Nothing looks broken or anything like that. So I guess let's dig in to the first one. All right, there's the cap. Spring in there. And here's the diaphragm. Let's see if I can take that out nicely. I want to be very gentle with it. Right, there's that. Let me just set that aside for now. There's two more jets inside of here I'm taking out. Okay, so smaller one, a little bit of a bigger one. Now let's take apart the bowl. I don't recommend doing this with an actual hammer. I just don't have a dead blow. All right, got that loose. Oh geez, look at that. That looks crazy. It's like green sludge. So that is definitely clogged up pretty bad. There's the main jet. That is clogged up. Pilot is also like all gummed up. Yeah, this carb is pretty rough. It's gonna need a good cleaning. There's what that looks like. So I got that kind of cleared out. I'm gonna use an air compressor, just blow the rest of the way out, and I think that one should be good, and then I can move on to the next one. All right, here's the diaphragm of the first one. Looks pretty good, there's no rips, nothing like that, so that's good. So I could put this one back together now. That's the first carb done. I'll probably just do the rest off camera, unless there is something I think I should show you, but that should be the process for all of them. Pretty straightforward. Taking apart all of the jets, getting them all cleaned up and unclogged. So that's one down, 3 to go. All right, I finally got all the carbs done. Now I can install it on the actual bike and go from there. See if it leaks any fuel. That would honestly suck, but anything's a possibility with old carbs like this. That sucked, honestly. That was really hard to get them on. These boots are very tough, so that did suck. Got the gas tank back on, got the carbs back on, got gas flowing to the carbs, got the new coils on, the new ignition box, so I think we can actually go for our first start attempt now. Let's see what happens. All right, so choke on, ignition on, run. So I just took the bike for a quick ride. It's running pretty good. Shifts through the gears good. It's not running perfect. Obviously, I don't have the intake on, so it's kind of just open carbs, so it's not running its best. But I do want to test one thing out, which is to see if all of the cylinders are firing. And I think the best way to do that would just be to spray some water. These ones are evaporating right away. Let's see these two. All right, so see how the water's staying on the first cylinder, but instantly going away on that one. So that's telling me that it's not 100% firing on this one. I need to figure what's up with that, but at least the bike does run. All right, welcome back. It's been a few days since I got the bike running. So as it sits right now, it does run. It doesn't run the greatest still. I think it still needs a little bit of carb adjustment. So I might have to take those off one more time, clean them out, see if there's anything still wrong with there. Cause like it'll idle, but only with the choke on. So once I turn off the choke, it'll cut out. I tried adjusting the idle screw, didn't really do much. I also have to do the front brake. I got brake bleeding kit, got my brake fluid, so I'm gonna attempt to do that today. Attempt to finally get the carbs where they need to be so the bike runs nice, smooth, and I think that should be it. And then just a nice little cleanup, go for a test drive, probably take you guys along. But it does fire up, does run, it's not the greatest, so I do need it needs a little bit of tinkering still, so we're gonna tackle that now. Probably just gonna do the brakes first, just make sure that all works, because I did take it on a drive, didn't record it, but it is a little sketchy without a front brake. At least the back brake still works, but definitely need a front brake while driving, so. All right, so here's the kit. Here's the pump, does work. I'll just figure out how to attach it all together and then connect it to here, put some brake fluid, and then try sucking it through. See if that does it. All right, so I'm done bleeding the front brakes. They work now. Ready? They're not getting locked up like they were when I first bought it. So those seem to work properly. So that's nice. Now have brakes front and rear. Now the only thing that's left to do is just figure out the carb situation, why it still doesn't really want to run perfectly. Figure those out, which kind of sucks. Probably got to take them back off. There's a possibility that because the boots are cracked, it's like seeping in air through them, causing an air leak, causing it to not run right. I know once I put the boots back on and connected it to the airbox, it definitely ran a lot better, but it's still not running perfect. So I might actually just order air filters just for the carbs and get rid of this airbox completely. That might help as well because they don't really want to seat back on properly. But I'm gonna take the carbs back off, take it apart, play with them a little bit, and then go from there. And then hopefully then it will run perfectly the way it should. And then the bike should be complete. Got the carbs off, so let's see what we're working with. I think what I'm gonna do, I didn't do it the first time, but I think I'm gonna take apart the choke mechanism and clean that out too, just to make sure that's all working properly. All right, so what I'm gonna be doing is just taking some Scotch-Brite, kind of clearing them out like this. Bowl looks good, pretty good overall. The first time I put these back together, I accidentally put the floats this way, thinking that they went this way. And then the carbs were getting no fuel, so I'm like, what is wrong? And I wouldn't want to start, but it turned out the carbs just were not getting gas because I had the floats upside down. So always look out for little mistakes like that because they could drive you crazy. You don't know what's going on, you don't know why it's not working properly. And it can be something as small as putting something on wrong. And I'm gonna just do the same for the rest of them. Here's the bike, I got the carbs back on. It's honestly very hard to get these boots connected properly. It's like a whole mess. That's why I think I wanna just order the air filters that just connect straight to the carbs. That way I don't have to deal with all of this because it makes it really difficult, but it does start up. But it just wants to rev out really high for some reason, so let's choke off. So yeah, it does run. That was without choke too. So at least it runs from brake work. So I do gotta adjust it a little more. It's getting late though outside and I don't wanna make the neighbors mad. So I'm gonna figure that out in the morning. I think that's a good place to stop for now. Still gotta take it for a test drive with you guys now that the front brake works, so that's good. But yeah, once I get the carbs dialed in, it should be perfect. So that's just the last step. Otherwise, everything else is working as it should. That's where I'm gonna leave it for now, and then we'll figure out the rest a little bit later. All right, thank you for watching. Stay tuned for the test drive and the final product.